Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at ANTEC's budget version of, let's say, a really small mid-tower case. This is ANTEC's VX320 addressable RGB, which comes with 4 pre-installed fans. And that, in sense of 50 euros or 45 pounds, is quite an outstanding catch. But then we go and dig a bit deeper. What you get inside are actually 4 120 addressable RGB fans, but they aren't PWM, they aren't DC, they are Molex powered. So at the back you have 4 Molex connectors that you need to connect to your power supply directly with PETA connection, and that is something that is uncontrollable, unfortunately. So it goes into that sense where you have 4 fans that are pre-installed, they constantly blow at certain RPMs and you can't control them. You have the option to control the RGB lights, if that makes any sense, with the button here at the I/O panel, or you can connect the addressable RGB header, which is 5V strip-in addressable RGB, to your motherboard. Long press on the button right here will give you automatic recognition of the motherboard input signal and control the RGB lights of the fans. Now, furthermore, we have the tempered glass, which sounds like and looks like a 2 to 3 millimeter thickness, which is quite thin. I do have to, well, I would say more 2 than 3, which is connected and placed on the chassis in a very old-fashioned way, I would say. So what we got right here is 4 thumb screws, and the last time I saw it was, well, I think a year ago or something like that, which I also stated that isn't it cheaper or easier just to place some, I don't know, a steel frame on the tempered glass and just use thumb screw? Because what I see right here is the case already has 2 holes, one here at the top and one here at the bottom, and only needs 2 hinges to hold here on the front, and that'll be it. It'll be much easier to remove it from the chassis, less chance to break it, that's for sure, because when you're untying the thumb screws from the chassis, you get something that, well, the last thumb screw, you do need to hold the tempered glass just in case it doesn't fall. But then again, we're going at the budget segment, and I'm really talking about budget because when I was doing all the build segment testing and everything all together, I thought, what would the price be? And in my head, I had that 50 euro mark, which actually it hits that point because, let's be honest, you're having a smaller chassis that goes into that segment. You can place an ATX motherboard, you can place an ATX power supply, you can go with 8 fans, which means 3 on the front, 1 at the rear, 2 at the top, and 2 on the power supply shroud. And the good thing about the power supply shroud fans is that you have an intake over here, which is quite solid, and the front fan on the power supply shroud collects the air from the bottom fan. So that's really good. And you might consider, okay, it might block the cables, or the cable might go and interlock with the fan blades or something similar to that. Well, they have an opening right here, so you can push the cable for the GPU through that opening, which is quite solid. Basically, that's, I wouldn't say intuitive, it's just reasonable thinking. Right next to this perforated steel, we have the I/O port. So we have one USB 3.0, two USB 2.0. We have one 3.5 millimeter headphone and one 3.5 millimeter microphone jack, 2 indication lights, reset button, LED button, and power on button. We're talking about budget, so we're not having a USB Type-C, which in some scenario is quite alright. We're going with a case that has a quite unique front design, very price affordable. At the back, you have loads of options when we're talking about cable management, so that's really nicely covered. And for the Radiator and AIO support, in their brochure and on their official website, there is no possibility to place any type of radiator, because there is an opening on the front to place a 360 radiator, but then the front plate has these standouts where you can't actually place a radiator on top of them, because you'll have a 1 millimeter distance from the radiator to the fans, so you can't place a 360 on front unless you have a bit longer screws. And then you'll have still some sort of an air leakage, but we're going too much into details regarding the budget. And then I said, okay, I'll place an air cooler inside and check out how it will work and perform. But then I placed the motherboard in the chassis, and I saw, okay, there's an opportunity for a 240 at the top. So why not check that out? And I had Vortex Lamp 240 sitting around, and I really wanted to check it out if it can fit. So avoid high profile rams. So low profile rams are very acceptable if you want to go with a 240. And the IO cover for the motherboard, the passive heatsink for the VRMs, needs to be a bit lower or at least shorter to be able to place a 240 radiator at the top. So it can fit, it definitely can. There are no secret holes used for attaching the top part. There are actually regular holes for fans, so there's that. You can place it. Just be careful with the RAMs and with the IO cover of the motherboard to be able to do that. When we're talking about compatibility, we have CPU cooler height maximum at 165, GPU maximum length is 320, which it isn't limited with the front radiator since you can support it. You can go with three 2.5-inch SSDs or one 3.5-inch hard drive. Maximum power supply length is 160, which includes the cables and a hard drive. But without the hard drive and including the cables, you can go up to 325. So there's that. There is no typical hard drive caddy in the power supply shroud. You have to mount it to the bottom plate of the chassis. For the fan support, you can go with 3120 in the front, top 2140 or 2120, power supply shroud 2120 and rear 1120. No radiator support as I said, but I managed to place it without any problems. So it's nothing much to discuss around the case, just giving you some ideas what you can expect while building inside it. And this is why I actually went with the Polit card, since this is the thinnest and the smallest card that I have currently, so apart from the ARC 750. But regardless of that, that was the only card that could fit inside this build. Now let's check out the benchmarks. Going with AIDA 64 Extreme Edition, running the Vortex 240 with AMD Ryzen 9 7900 X3D, Polit RTX 5070 White OC. CPU goes up to 91 degrees, clock speed is 4725 megahertz, GPU goes up to 57. So the CPU is actually quite high in this sense, and the clock speed is quite low, comparing it to other benchmarks that I did. And even with 240s, with some 240s, it's actually quite close, and that's quite alright. But of course, we can't compare it 240 with 360. And then we go with Cinebench R23, which we get 10 runs, and on average, we get 83.8 degrees for the CPU, which is kind of okay-ish. I won't go and complain about that. But the clock speed is 4945, which was at some point surprising because at one instance I got 5000 megahertz clock speed. But then on some I got 4875. So this is where the average drops with these type of clock speeds. Regardless of that, that's the clock speed. It's lower than usual. So yeah. And Cinebench score is 26,161, which is in the last position. But then again, when we take into consideration the fans that are here running constantly at same RPMs and the way the case is constructed, it's definitely more oriented not for the extreme processors or at least high core count, thread count processors, but definitely something more in the budget range where a 240 radiator or an air cooler up to 165 millimeters of height can cool it down properly with this type of configuration. And the GPU is, well, basically quite solid. There's nothing much to discuss. Eventually giving it more airflow with 2 additional fans, but do take into consideration going with PWM fans, of course, so you can control the speed and lower down the noise, because these ones with this RPMs are definitely a bit louder than we're used to. In general, this is a solid budget case. If you're really on the budget, you have no other alternatives, you want to go with a case that looks quite cool on the front, but then again, it has 4 addressable RGB fans. You don't care about the noise, you don't care about anything when we're talking about the tempered glass. You're just going to build a case, slap that tempered glass on top, and you're done with it. That's it. That's all that I can say. ANTEC VX320 addressable RGB. If this case ticks your pros that are for the budget case that you're aiming and for the budget build, you can check out the link in the description below, and that'll be all for today, guys. If you like this type of content and everything that I give you guys through the videos, reviews and insights, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, click the notification bell, and I'll see you soon in another one. Thanks, bye bye.